not today for the Josh Jung talk. All right, after last night, there's no way we have to have that talk. He did great things last night. We will celebrate him today. Plus 10-game hitting streak. Like, we'll rock with that for a little bit.
Absolutely, we will.
The Joc Pederson talk, I guess it was time, because when he hit his home run last night, Fred.
How about what he said afterwards?
He said, "Don't F with me." And I was like, hold on, dude. You're hitting 123, and you hit a home. Granted, great moment for the home run, because I had just tweeted, freezing cold take.
Yeah.
I just tweeted over the weekend. Every time I need Joc Pederson to do something, he doesn't. And then I needed him to do something last night, and he absolutely
did. Do it.
Yes, he did.
He did do it, and, you know, it's funny because I was sitting there, me and my son were watching the game last night, and I told my son, when Joc Pederson stepped up to the plate, I said, well, this isn't going to end well. And, you know, my son's getting used to watching Ranger baseball, and so, of course, then Joc Pederson, you know, just hits a moonshot, and, you know, I was like, okay, well, that didn't turn out so badly. I said, no. And then as I'm watching him say, you know, don't bleep with me, I started laughing, and and of course I gave my son the rundown of what was going on with Joc Pederson. But look, athletes, and let's not pretend that Joc Pederson hasn't had success.
That's true.
In Major League Baseball.
That is absolutely
all right?
true. Yes.
And let's not pretend like this guy, you know, hasn't had big hits and big moments like he did last night. Obviously,
this year's been atrocious.
Well,
so
right?
far, so
and as
far.
Ranger fans, as Ranger Nation, we have not been privy to said moments. And so was last night. You know, you could tell from just his body language, the don't bleep with me. He needed that. I mean, not only did the Rangers need that, but Joc Pederson, for his psyche and for his well-being, and for if this guy is going to be the piece that Chris Young and the Ranger front office thought he was going to be. Look, if him saying don't bleep with me is what he needs to get his mind right, if that's the positive affirmation that he needs to tell himself in the mirror 10 times while he brushes his teeth with his right hand, then you know what? I'm here for it.
Guys, Alec, you might remember this too. During the run to the World Series, Adolis Garcia is playing. They're playing against the Twins on a Sunday. I remember this specifically because I'm sitting there in the stands, actually in the suite. Thanks to our Tolo Rachel Ring for buying the suite for Peace-a-thon.
Well,
and I'm
nice.
sitting there in the suite, and I'm walking around going, I know he struck out 4 times already today. I know he's struck out 4 times. He's about to end it right now.
Yeah.
And then he did, and I'm sitting there, But you look down at him, and he's holding his jersey, and he's looking at it, and he's screaming, and that was the most emotional I'd ever seen Adolis Garcia. And that was the moment that you were like, he needed that moment
Absolutely
right there.
did.
And he came back to life, and then the team goes on and wins the World Series. So you might be right. Like, that moment right there might have been the thing that cracked everything open for him.
Exercise some demons.
I'm not saying he's going to go 4 for 4 every night for the rest of the year.
But, you know, just bat 200.
Yes.
Yes. Let's just go. I mean, again, it's a crawl before you can walk, but at the same time, it has been a physical and mental black hole when Joc Pederson steps out steps up to the plate, steps out on the field. And so, you know, you could feel, you could tell the dugout was relieved. You could see the smile on Bochy's face.
Oh, man, that smile was amazing.
And again, just the entire team, like, Joc Pederson seems like a guy that they like, I think. For the most part. I mean, again, we haven't gotten any, you know,
if he can help, if anybody can help you always like him.
Oh, well, absolutely.
I'll say that,
right?
No matter what, if they can help our team win, man, I love you.
Well,
so
I guess my point is
thing.
that from all intents and purposes, it doesn't seem like he's an a-hole in the dugout or in the locker room, right? Like, I've heard nothing to suggest that, you know, not only is he crappy at the plate and just as a player right now, but he's been a complete behind the scenes as well. Haven't heard anything to suggest that. So, again, if he's well-liked, and then, of course, the walk-off itself, Josh Jung, another guy who's been scuffling a little bit, gets sent down, and really ever since he's been back, outside of the little bugaboo with the calf strain, which apparently no Tyrese Halliburton Achilles tear going on here, at least not tonight. But what a moonshot he hit last night.
I did notice there were a couple times in the game where he would be at second base, and he's not running full speed to get to third.
Right.
And there was maybe some opportunity, but he was gingerly taking care of himself, which that's perfectly fine. You want to DH for a little bit and do that for us. I'm perfectly okay with that. with Josh Jung, he is the heart and soul of this team.
Yeah.
Corey Seager is the best player on the field.
Right.
Josh Jung, go back to the World Series when he's the first one out of the dugout when you've done something good.
Right.
Adolis hits a home run, he's the first one there giving him the Bash Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, he all the things, he is the emotional leader, while Adolis is the emotion of the team. Right. If he's hot, if the team's hot, he's there, you know. But Josh Jung is necessary to this team, and last night you saw why, and I think that's the big lift that you're going to get from him. Things didn't start out so well last night.
No.
Patrick Corbin started off a little tough. Gave up six hits on the night, 3 runs. I was amazed. Somebody did ask me to play all the runs from last night. I don't think we have all the runs, but we're good. Thanks a lot, Peyton. I appreciate it. The start, he wasn't great to start the game, but whenever he got out of the first inning with only giving up 1 run with bases loaded, I was like, that's a positive right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Only giving up 1 run, and now I tweeted that. A lot of people were like, I don't know, with this team, that seems insurmountable. And I was like, yeah, I get it. But then they have a 4-run inning, and that the vibe completely changed after the Rangers went up 4-3 for me in this game.
Well, and again, I guess I'm not going to say I'm in the minority on this, but I feel like with the way this offense has played, look, if this was 2-3 months ago, yes, a 2-3-4 run lead does seem insurmountable for this offense, but not anymore. I mean, again, and like I said, we'll use the arbitrary June 7th date that we keep using, which was the second game of a 3-game split against the Washington Nationals. But this team has been one of the best offenses in baseball, and more importantly, shout out to our boy Jared Sandler, who posted a bonkers stat today.
Okay,
I don't know, and if you guys don't follow Jared, shame on you. Go give him a follow right now. But he posted something this morning, and I can't remember. I don't know. I didn't look at the time. I don't know if it was last night or this morning that he posted this. They're 56-45 against all of baseball, 3-10 against the Seattle Mariners, your Texas Rangers.
They've not been able to figure out the Mariners at all.
And let's think about how many. And again, we talked about how many 1-loss games they've had in the last 2 times they've played them, last 2 series they've played them. So again, that's and we've gotten into that, and who knows, maybe that'll all change when they come playoff time. That said, I think we're starting to kind of settle in a little bit that against anybody not named the Seattle Mariners, pun intended. Like, this team's pretty dadgum good, okay? And I get it. The Yankees are reeling, but, oh, by the way, they're a wild card team right now. You took care of the Detroit Tigers not too long ago, okay? You've beat, you lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers early on in the year, and that was when your offense was absolute, a dumpster fire. Right, so
before the break, you handled up on the Astros.
You took care of the Astros, right? And it seems. And the funny thing about this team is that again, it's and you should have taken 2 out of 3 against a good Padres team if you had a bona fide closer at the time.
True,
right? So that's the thing about this Rangers team that I think. And we had somebody text in yesterday. Oh, you got to give Bochy. You got to. Why is Bochy not getting more blame? Well, because of nights like yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, and we wonder why. Okay, well, why are you giving Peterson the benefit of the doubt? Why do you? What's his deal? Does Peterson have pictures of Bochy? Look, this is what the hand he's dealt.
Yeah.
And you have to look when you're giving a guy $17 million, like you're giving Jock Peterson. Like, again, by the way, he's only had 20 at bats.
Yep.
Since he came off the DL with the wrist injury.
This started thanks to Jared, by the way, for what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
And it was started with Jeff Banister, my philosophy on baseball. The season's 162 games. You have 5 at-bats a game, maybe, if you're lucky, all right? With players, Banister was very key on, you're waiting why are you waiting so long for this guy to show?
Yeah.
All right, why are you waiting? And Banister's theory on this was, I need to plant seeds that these guys trust me.
Yeah.
That I'm not just going to react out of nowhere because I need to give them every possible opportunity to prove that they can't, so that I can get the best out of them. I need to plant a seed with the guy. And that seed just isn't planted for this team.
Right.
That seed's planted for any free agent out there that wants to come play for me. That seed's planted for any trade person that comes into this team. I'll have patience with you because you're a pro. I know that you're a pro. You're here for a reason, and that's the way that Bochy's been like that since he got here. Absolutely. There are plenty of players that you're like, why do you keep giving this guy a chance? At some point, I might need him. I know what their skill set is, and I'm going to be patient and see that it comes out. And we as fans are not that patient. It is just not in us to be that patient, but I'm glad our manager is.
Well, and we all know what fans short for, fanatic, and that's what we all are to a large extent.
Absolutely.
But, and look, you've heard this. Coaches have said this, and, you played the audio yesterday of Pete Carroll talking about different coaching styles and what have you. Jock Peterson coming through as clutch as he did yesterday. Josh Jung coming through as clutch as he did yesterday.
Huge game by him, too.
Huge game, right? And this is the kind of stuff, and one of the questions I want to ask Bruce, if we have him on Wednesday, is... Think about it. He's taken Marcus Semien, okay, who has been a leadoff man for most of his career and has been a damn good one. But threw him down to 9th in the lineup at one point. Okay, 9th in the lineup, batting 173. All right, now he's kind of he's had a very up and down year, but he's also had some very clutch hits. But you sent Jake Berger down, you sent Josh Jung down. All right, you gave Adolis 5 days off. All right, you've stuck with guys like Joc Pederson. Like, my question for him is, you sent Berger down, right? You've done all these things with veteran guys, moved them up and down the lineup. I mean, and again, when the offense was a scuffling and darts were flying, arrows were flying at these guys, what are those conversations like? And what does it say about the trust these guys have in Bruce Bochy that I'm going to send a guy like a Josh Jung down? And let's be honest, outside of the calf strain, Josh Jung has been night and day different from when he came back. And, a month ago, it's just the end of Josh. And of course, look, I get it. It's the internet. It's clickbait. It's going to happen. It's just the end of Josh Jung, What does this mean for him moving forward? And Bruce Bochy was very steadfast and said, no. He's very much a part of our plans, but he needs to get his head right.
Yeah.
And what is that like, having those conversations? Because the one thing about baseball that always fascinates me, outside of golf, it's probably the most mentally demanding sport of any professional sport out there.
Yeah. He said the same thing about Zeke Duran last week with us.
Yeah.
Kevin was like, is he kind of on his way out? And he was like, he's loved in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
We know what he can do, and we might need him at some. He said that last week.
And look, he came up with a huge hit against the Mariners.
Huge hit last night, too.
Yeah.
To send the team over the top to get the first lead of the night. Like, so he knows that these guys, the personalities, how they fit together. Bobby this morning was like, what does a manager do if everything's already kind of pre-planned? Because yesterday, Patrick Corbin's not having a good day. You got John Gray that you can go with long relief. I'll get to John Gray in just a second, too. Well, they know that. They have that plan just in case. Well, what does a manager do? Manages people. What does that mean? You gotta have your finger on the pulse of these guys. You got to get to know them. You got to understand them, know what motivates and pushes buttons for these guys. And Bochy does. It's a master at that. That's why when players that aren't playing for him anymore, they're like, look, I knew what was demanded of me, but I also knew that I was going to be respected the whole time.
Yeah,
as a man, and I was going to get opportunities. John Gray, on his run to the World Series, pretty much forgotten. Okay, no longer a starter in the situation. Hey, John, what was the conversation like with Maddox and Boch? They didn't really talk to me. What do you mean they didn't really talk to you? I needed to figure it out myself, and they knew that.
Yeah, and sometimes sometimes that's the best approach.
So they let him, and then what? He finally gets his chance, and he's like, I cannot wait to get my chance, and he does it in the World Series.
Yeah,
and he has an exceptional outing. And help saves the team go in the World Series. The last night, John Gray's kind of in this place where he can be a starter. He could demand. He could demand to go somewhere else. I know the injury hurt. His hair is amazing, by the way.
He does have great hair.
But he's
not Alec Medford great.
No,
but
not
still
at all.
Pretty good.
That stuff looks like you use lots of conditioner.
I try, man. Yeah. I just watched it yesterday.
It's very Pantene Pro-V-ish.
I was just thinking that earlier this morning too. But he was needed last night. Whatever role, I'm there for you, Coach, because that's the kind of group that he wants, and that's what John Gray is. This is a luxury to have a John Gray. I mean, you had Dane Dunning like this before.
Right.
You have a John Gray who could be a starter, can be a closer if you need. You don't need, but he's available for it, and also can go long relief if you need to be able to seal up a few innings like that last night.
No, you need guys like John Gray, and to your point, he is a luxury because you just never know, especially moving forward. Whether he's going to, a bullpen start, right, or a bullpen game type deal, okay? You feel comfortable with the John Gray being thrown in there. All right, we know what we're going to get out of Merrill Kelly because I think this team's going to have to skip some starts with Jacob deGrom moving forward. But last night, I thought it was a great performance by John Gray because he'd been a little rough a couple nights prior to that. I can't remember if it was at the Mariners, I think he threw against, where he kind of got roughed up in that Thursday night game. So to have him bounce back the way he did, and that's the thing about pitchers, right, is that you got to have a short memory.
Yep.
Okay, but to your point, this guy literally is a Swiss Army knife. It doesn't matter start, long relief, close, whatever. Guys like John Gray are a luxury to have.
All right, the other thing too last night, you did see Camilo Doval, the guy that I wanted to trade for. He had 12 pitches, 8 strikes, got out of the inning clean, but it's all right.
It's your boy.
The Yankees got him. So I'll just have to move on with my life and just accept a World Series run, guys.